He is living proof that anything conceivable is achievable, and every problem has a solution. On behalf of the Center for Leadership at CalState Fullerton, our Southern California community, I am honored to bestow the 2023 Lifetime Achievement Award to Robert E. Grant.
When Jay told me that I was being considered for this Lifetime Achievement Award, I did something probably most of you may not think would be the next thing that you would do after hearing such a thing. I went straight to CVS and bought some hair dye. I'm like, wait a minute, I don't know about this. Lifetime Achievement Award stuff, that sounds like something that would be, kind of right before you decide to retire. And I don't feel like that at all right now, but I am so honored, so deeply honored to be here with you. And yes, I did dye my hair. So, I look back on my life, and obviously I have so many people to thank for being here. So I would be remiss if I didn't also recognize the challenges. Because it's the challenges that actually lead to these experiences. It's so hard to see that when you're in the moment of it. Those moments as an entrepreneur, and many of you here in this room have experienced this, where you have a cash-mageddon, right? You know what I'm talking about, right? It's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to make payroll? I was a professional manager for a long time, where I got to run multi-billion-dollar organizations, and then all of a sudden, you're like running your own company. And that can really, really scare the Jesus out of you. It can cause anybody to shrink. It can basically take you out at your knees. And you sometimes just have to be willing to kind of surrender. Surrender to the universe is not giving up. If there's one thing that I can testify above all else, it is the power of never, ever, ever giving up. But realizing also that you're doing the right things, and that even the experiences that you have are not happening to you, they're actually happening for you. I don't even remember my high school teachers or my junior high teachers who were easy on me. I don't remember their names. But the ones I remember were the ones that saw something in me that I didn't even see in myself. They pushed me in ways that I never thought I could actually take. And it was those people that were most difficult that I now look back on and say, gosh, I'm so grateful to you. So I can sit here and thank all the wonderful people in my life, the mentors and everything else. But the thing that I really have to recognize the most is those deep, deep, difficult challenges that made me recognize the universe isn't happening to me, but it's happening for me. We come here to experience life, and I think we learn through opposites. If we come here maybe in the school of life to learn love, then maybe we have to experience heartbreak. Maybe we come here to learn forgiveness, and therefore we need people who are going to do us wrong. But when we start to understand the true nature of this life, that it is actually all happening for us, then we can start to transcend, and every experience can become a symphony. It's the contrast of that symphony that makes it great. So I was asked recently, who do I look up to? And I've had so many people, because I'm a student of history, I like to look back on people and all the great things they've done, whether it's, you name it, Isaac Newton, or fantastic scientists, or artists like Leonardo da Vinci, or whoever. But when I was stopped in that question on a podcast I was doing just last week, I had to stop for a moment and just say, there have been many times I've also been let down, but I'm grateful for those moments too. But now for the first time in my life, I actually look up to myself. because I could see that all of it was for my greatest benefit. And I made it through. Even when no one else believed, or maybe only a few. Even when everyone said it was impossible, I turned that word into I'm possible. To live your dreams without regret. To live your life difficulties without regret. Without wanting to change anything. I look back at my life now and I say, when I'm turning 54 in only a few days, I wouldn't change anything. In fact, if given the choice, I might even live it again just as I did. So I'm so grateful. The greatest thing that we can ever learn is to know ourselves. Socrates said, know thyself. And I remember hearing that for the first time and saying, what does that even mean? Know yourself. And it took me this long to realize that that's been the whole journey all along. When I was a young man, I wanted to go out and see the world. I've been to over 140 countries. I wanted to experience everything that I could. I wanted to grasp life by the throat. And I wanted to get every ounce of experience out of it that I could. And then I realized later in life that all the things that I thought were simple and black and white actually became more of a spectrum of color. The things that I had judged harshly in my youth, I remember thinking my parents when I was 15 years old were possibly really not very intelligent. And then by the time I was 27 and stopped at 22 along the way, I remember thinking, gosh, in the last 7 years, my parents got really smart. Then by the time I was 27 years old, I thought, man, they're a genius. So in our youth, we tend to see things in black and white terms. And as we age, we start to see things in the gradations of the grades that actually they are. That maybe the only objective truths that we experience would be the sum of all possible subjective perspectives. Our world needs leadership right now. Our world needs empathy. It needs heart. We don't need more brain. We need more heart.
Yep.
I want to thank you, Jay, and the university, which I will name. And I want to encourage each of you to not only look outside of you for all the answers, but as leaders, as future executives, as future entrepreneurs, you're going to face those cash baguettes and those difficulties along the way. I encourage you to know yourself. I encourage you to always remember that it's never the heart that breaks, the heart only expands. It's the ego that breaks. That's a beautiful, beautiful life when we realize that it's all happening for us. Thank you very much.